What do you think of Andrew Tateism then?
So as a general rule, I don't comment on people that I don't speak to. So tell me the features of what you're talking about.
Okay, so the recent wave of internet masculine influencers who have like Bugattis and lots of women and sports cars, and there's many of them. And they seem to be resonant for some kind of reason, that are kind of saying that the way to be a man is to have loads of money, lots of women, these kind of cars, physical strength, and there's just this huge sort of generation of young, typically men, that are now disciples of that religion.
Yeah. So I think if you dislike that toxic masculinity, what we need to understand is it's the people who hate that toxic masculinity that are driving these people towards it. So I know this is kind of crazy. So what's happened is this has grown, right? And as it's grown, what have we done? We've demonized these people. We've said these people are bad. And as we demonize them, what's happened? They've grown stronger. So this is something that's very important to understand. If you are a man and you say, I am suffering today, what is the response that you're gonna get?
Shut up.
Absolutely.
Not in those exact words, but that's whatever the words are, that's what they mean.
Now, I want us to be very, very careful, right? So if you are listening to Steven say people tell you to shut up, and your first thought as a listener is, no, that's not true, that's the problem. So if people agree with you, they understand what you're saying, but if they disagree with you, that's the problem. We literally have a man who is telling us right now that your experiences when I say I'm suffering, people tell you to shut up. And then people are gonna be judging you for saying that. And they're gonna be saying, no, that's not true.
They're gonna be saying, shut up.
Absolutely. Right? So this is exactly the problem. So
that's another thing I was telling you about. Like people, even guys, don't respect victim mentality in men. Like women and men don't express I guess their sorrows, how each other can understand typically. And so when guys are complaining, people view it as like he's victimizing himself. So if you want, it's not that you guys can't express their feelings. It's that if they want to be received in a way that isn't just like shut up, stop being a bitch, they have to express it differently in a way that doesn't seem like they're being a victim. And that's like, it's harder for most people to do. They just don't think about it.
Men are struggling right now, and the rest of the world says, no, you're not. You're privileged. You're a man. There's a patriarchy. And I'm not commenting on the sociology of it. There is a patriarchy, whatever. Men have many advantages in life. I've experienced many advantages of being a man. It's absolutely true. Let's not go there. I'm talking about the individual experience of men. So there is one group of people on the planet who says, yes, your life does suck. And that's these toxic masculine people. They're the only people that truly validate men's experiences. Because everyone else says, why are you complaining? And these guys say, yeah, you're a fucking loser. What are you gonna do about it? They at least meet you where you're at. And they say, yes, your life is hard, and I will show you a way to make it better. Whereas the rest of the world says, no, your life isn't hard. What are you complaining about? And I've seen this as a doctor. I've seen patients who are complaining about pain, women who are complaining about pain because they have an internal bleed within the wall of their uterus that cannot get detected. And they're saying, I'm hurting, and we ignore this person's pain. And that's when things go bad. So for years and years and years, we have ignored the struggles of men. And there's one group on the planet who accepts them with open arms. And the more that we demonize them, so when someone starts believing in this toxic masculinity, what is the response? Do people ever ask, like, help me understand what your life is like? Like, what do you like about this person? Because everyone's going to them for a reason, but we never bother to ask, why are you listening to this person? What does this mean to you? We see these posts all the time in our community. My boyfriend is getting into this stuff. My son is getting this stuff. How do I stop it? Hold on a second. Don't try to stop it. Understand it first. Right. Because everyone's trying to stop it and no one is bothering to listen to what the experience of these men are. And that's why it's getting worse and worse and worse as we try to stop it.
So if I'm the mother of a son who is watching a lot of these sort of toxic male influences online, what would be a better approach versus just banning the computer and telling them that that's toxic and not to look at it?
Help me understand what you like about this. What is it like to be a man in today's day and age? How do you feel about yourself? How does it feel knowing that 70 to 80% of women want you to make more money than them, and yet 60% of people who graduate from college are women? So men are living in a world today where there are impossible expectations to meet. And so, like, what is it like to be someone who fundamentally has no chance at success? Right? These are the kinds of things that you need to say to these people. You need to give them an alternate place to go where they can be heard and helped, supported, and understood. See, anytime we make a judgment, our mind already has a conclusion. There's nothing left to learn anytime we're judgmental. So what do we do to all these people who are toxic men? We even create the word toxic. We literally label them as bad in some way. And I'm not saying that the behavior isn't toxic. But what I'm trying to point out is that even in our language, there is so much harsh judgment. So I once had a patient.
We both just did it, didn't we?
Absolutely. So I once had a patient who was smearing feces all over the school. So adolescent kid, right? And when you have a kid who's literally taking a shit and wiping it on the walls and stuff, what happens? The kid gets punished. Kid gets punished again and again and again. The one really sad thing is no one ever asks, why are you doing this? What's going on inside you? Because healthy kids don't do this. It's only kids who've been traumatized in some way. And as I've worked with incels, as I've worked with people who are toxically masculine, it always starts with trauma. And when I say always, this is a clinical experience, but I'm talking about 100%. So 100% of people start on this path by getting hurt in some way, by getting taken advantage of in some way, by sacrificing something and not getting something in return. And they have their share of responsibility too. I'm not saying that they're hapless victims, but I think that people who are raised with love and compassion and do have connections don't go down this road.
If you ever met somebody with a poop fetish, would you want to know why or no?
No, I don't care. I never want to hear that about that. Like, to be honest with you, like, on the list of things that I never want to hear about is fucking that.
I'm the weird one. I want to know.
I mean, but that's not surprising to me. Like, that's, yeah. I'm sure you would, and then you'd be like, oh, and why is that, do you think?
Yeah, I want to know what the fuck. I'm like him.
Yeah, listen.
I'm like this guy. I want to know why the kid is smearing poop on the walls.
Listen, your inquisitive mind is something to behold. However, not all of us have it, and I think we're all the better for it. Like TBH, you know?
Because he just brought up a thing like, he's like, if a kid, there was a school once and there's a kid, this happens, where they're smearing shit on the walls. And he's like, no one ever bothers to ask why, because healthy kids don't do that. And I was just thinking, like, that's the same thing with poop fetishes. They don't ask why, they just complain. I want to know why. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I can find somebody for you to ask those hard-hitting questions to. However, I'm just going to be kind of zoned out. I'm gonna be like, what is it? 1,000 yards staring.
Oh, we should get on one of those fetish apps like FetLife and find dates from there, just so we can ask them why they're into the shit they're into and hear some.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
We should do that. Content.
Follow your bliss, dude.
I wonder if there's probably a fetish convention.
Oh, there has to be. Or at least for like the, what is it? BDSM community, for sure.
I want like a variety of fetishes though. I want every aisle to be organized by fetish. Of like a convention floor.
So what you're saying is that you should throw a convention. And then you can have it organized exactly the way you want. You can vet the vendors.
Too much work.
Are you strange enough to have a booth at my convention? I'm not sure. Are you about the fetish? Don't think so.
Anyways, where are you, Pat?